But I feel like it's tied to
It's fine.
identity.
It is. It is. We can deal with that more deeply on another day. But today we can just touch it a bit, right?
Yeah.
So right, you're right. It is still tied to the identity we have of ourselves, which is why it is important to acknowledge when we have an identity crisis. It's really important because the moment that we acknowledge that, then we will know this thing is causing me to have negative experiences. Therefore, I need to solve it. I need to resolve this thing because ignoring it and going on and continuously having the negative experience is painful. It
Mm.
reduces my quality of life. So I
Yeah.
had better not run away from what is going on with me. Something is going on with me that is causing me to open up myself to negativity. So I need to deal with it, right? And I'm smiling now because somebody might look at the person who is saying this, right? And they cannot imagine that, oh yes, look at her, you know, she's just saying all that. They cannot imagine that perhaps I'm saying it because I may have come out of it myself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And there is nothing like experience to teach us. There is nothing
Mm.
like experience to teach us. So when you're looking at somebody who is telling you something and they look so comfortable when they're saying that thing that they're telling you, perhaps they're looking comfortable now because they're no longer there and they know that this is the way to get out of it, which is why they're sharing the information. So now they're looking comfortable. So you begin to feel like they don't even know what this thing feels like. So how can this person be a person who will tell me? Do you understand? What I think
Yeah.
you and I know that after you have had a taste of something, you are in a very good position to tell somebody it doesn't have to be that way. It's
Yeah.
only that you haven't seen the light at the end of the tunnel. It's only that you haven't understood that you actually have something that you can do to shift this thing happening to you. And it entails a shift in mindset.
Mm.
It entails a shift in mindset. And people will ask, what do you mean mindset? My mindset is that I don't want this thing. How can you be telling me that it is my mindset that is creating it? But it is
True.
mindset that is creating it because it is mindset. Our mindset is a determinant of, is what we think about anything, isn't it? Your
Yeah.
mindset is what you think about anything. Now, if I am a person who thinks to myself, I cannot take this type of behavior or treatment, right? Now we have to go back to the words of wisdom that were given to us to guide ourselves. I said to you the other time that you cannot buy a fridge and know how to use that fridge if you don't
Mm.
have the manual and if you don't use the manual to set it up or your television.
Mm.
Same thing with us as human beings. Before we were born, you and I, a lot of words of wisdom from experiences, from, say word of knowledge, from things that have been observed and seen the way things play out in human life. A lot of words of wisdom were already kept for us. We have a manual actually, and that manual, I haven't read other uh, religious/spiritual texts, but the one that I know because I was brought up reading the Bible. I was brought up as the Bible is. And when I say this, I'm not even talking about Christians. Because guess what I've heard? I've heard from other people who have read other books. A lot of those things that we see in the Bible are also present in the Quran, in
Mm.
Buddhism, in a lot of other things. I am not saying that they're all equal. I am just saying that apparently these are words of wisdom that have been brought through the ages. And one of the
Mm.
things that you will find is that as a man thinketh in his heart, this is the way it is written in the book that I read. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I find it is very real, very real. And so some of us will think, why am I having this experience if this is, and you're saying, as a man thinketh in his heart. But if you really go back and think deeply and you're honest with yourself, you come to see that things that are happening, take an experience, except when you are a child, when you are helpless and you can't change things,
Mm.
right? I mean, because you are dependent, you are stuck sometimes in a place where, except when you're a child. If as an adult something is happening or things are happening, it's a matter of my mind allows my thoughts. allow me to believe that this can be happening. The moment that I don't believe it can be happening to me and I cannot accept it, I won't be there. I
Yeah.
won't be there.
So, and it just also brings me to something else. When we are talking about the identity crisis, the fact that we should be very comfortable being ourselves in this manner, that you don't need, you have, I look at it in this dimension, you have dated yourself enough to know who you are as an individual. Because dating yourself, meaning, what do people normally go out when they start that whole dating phase, is just getting to know each other, getting to know that person's weakness, strengths, and all that. So I normally encourage women that you need to date yourself in order for you to understand who you are. So
Hmm.
understood who you are, then you will know there's some things that come rain, come sunshine, I will not take it. When someone tells me this and it's not my values, I will comfortably be able to walk away. That just brings me to my point. You remember what we were talking about the last time? The guy who were trying to like talk and all that. I was just like, it reached to a point that we weren't in agreement in some couple of few things. And when I was thinking about it, I'm like, this person is nice, this person does this. Can I compromise just, you know, for them because they're doing above and beyond? And I remembered, I was just like, this is what you didn't get, and you're about to slip back to it. I was like, you know what? No, where I've come from is very far, and I'm not willing to go back. I just told him, you know what? This cannot work. I think we are good as friends, and that's just it. And I was like, girl, I'm so proud of you. Like, on a normal day, you'll be like, oh, start explaining a lot of things. It just made me feel like, damn, you have grown. Like, there's some things that you're accepting back then just because you didn't receive that and you're seeing everybody as like a father figure. And I got to understand that not everybody that comes in your life will fill that gap. You need to start healing and becoming a brand new you as an
Hmm.
individual. I comfortably walked away smoothly,
Hmm.
and I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, it didn't work because our values weren't aligning, and that is fine. So if I was in that place of asking myself, who am I? What do I even stand for? I'll be constantly saying yes to everything, everyone, and things that are not meant to be in my season and in my life currently. I feel like that was the proudest thing that I've done this week, by the way. I feel so proud.
I am so happy because you know why? I am so happy. Because what you've done is, guess what? And the thing that happens is, a lot of us, we can get to a place where we are scared to speak up for ourselves because we feel like if I speak up for myself, then I am going to lose this thing. But do you
Yeah.
know that there are times when you speak up for yourself? If you say to me now, so I don't, I have made a proposition to you, and you say, also, no, this doesn't work with me, right?
Mm,
And maybe there's something that I have that you want, and your fear is, if I say no, I won't get that thing. Quite all right. You know that if you don't say no, you are going to get what you don't want. And you know that that thing that you don't want is painful to you. So, what is the essence of accepting me and my proposal because you want something from me? You are hoping to get something from me, and then you are still now getting something that you don't want. It's really counterintuitive. So, the
mm,
right thing to do is to actually speak up. But it takes boldness, and it takes coming to that place of the boldness is that I know that I might lose, I stand the chance of losing this or that thing that I want.
mm,
But the resolution of that identity crisis is what enables us to say, I know myself and I know that this doesn't work for me. So
yeah.
then, and guess what? Even when we say no, when you say no to me and I withdraw, I can go home and go and think about it. And I'll be like, but what she's asking for isn't so bad.
Mm,
Maybe I will give it to her. Then
exactly.
secondly, Secondly, and here is where not saying no is a big problem. You saying no to me, and I know that there is something that there's an outcome that you want from me, and yet you said no to me. It makes me have trust in you. It makes me have trust in you as this is someone that I can trust because she's not she's not unsure. So if I'm making a plan with her and she
Mm.
tells me A,
Mm-hmm.
she's reliable. She's reliable. When I see that you're reliable,
I
when I see
didn't
that
see
you're
that.
huh?
I'm saying I didn't see that in that sense.
Yeah. But that's what it is. That's what it is. And that's why at the end of the day, when someone tells you you have a role in what is happening to you don't understand because you haven't seen these other layers that we're talking about now. So you have, and eventually that person does not respect the person because they haven't given the impression of being somebody that can be trusted, somebody who is reliable, somebody who even cares about themselves. If I see that you don't care about yourself, for goodness sake, I'm not going to be careful the way I treat
Yeah.
you. Because let's say again, you have two friends, myself and Teresa, right? And every
Mm-hmm.
time that you make plans with me, you are messing up. Every time that you make plans with Teresa, you are messing up. And Teresa says, all right, you know what? I don't want to make any more plans.
Mm.
But I continue to give you another chance and another chance and another chance because I care. I'm so invested in us continuing our relationship. At the end of the day, the next time that you want to ask for those plans again, when you ask for those plans and I say, make sure that you stick to the plan, and Teresa says, no plan, we're not doing anything. If she even says, then when you go home, you call her again and say, Teresa, please reconsider. And then she says, okay, I will just try again.
Last chance.
That day, if anything comes up on that day and it's between the two of us, you are going to do it for Teresa. You're not going to do it for me. You're not going to
Mm.
do it for me who has been very nice and accommodating, because
Yeah.
you know in your mind subconsciously that I can always come back and deal with Uzo later. But Teresa, I've got to give it to her the way it was planned. Because Teresa is not going to accept this from me. I lose my chance with Teresa. That's why it's important that we stand up for ourselves. Because when we're being that niceness, what we're just doing is that we continue to shrink ourselves and we become inconsequential. We
Mm.
continue. Have you ever heard it said that nice girls finish last or nice guys finish last?
Yeah.
That's actually what it is. It's not because we are nice. It is because we have presented a person that cannot even be taken seriously. So if I cannot take myself seriously, why should you take me seriously?
Yeah. And it's so true that seriousness starts from you. Entertainment starts from you. Because people see it in you and they,
Mhm.
so if someone treats you bad, ask yourself, am I treating myself bad? Am
Mhm.
I treating myself bad? I'm not standing up for myself. I am not saying no bad. I'm not giving myself grace. Everything boils down to us. You see the way people normally say, this guy has been treating me bad. This guy doesn't, value me. But when it comes to another lady, oh my god, they are
Exactly. And they will say the bitchy ones, the nasty ones. It's not being bitchy or nasty. It's people who know how to stand up for themselves. And you don't
I'm
have
like,
to do it in a nasty way too.
the moment I started questioning myself. I'm like, how comes I'm being nice to this person and they're not treating me in a nice way, but they're treating someone else in a very good way? And I started observing, I'm like, this person stands up for themselves. They know who they truly are. So when you try to pin them down, they'll come at you. Hey, they'll be like, no, you didn't treat me fair. And that is why I'm letting you go because this is my non negotiable. You can't treat me like this and I will stay. I will just.
Exactly.
So I'm like, it all boils down. The way people treat us, it all boils down to us. What has been entertaining? That's the question. What have you
What
been
you
entertaining?
entertain, you accept, eh?
Yes. And this thing people look by the way, if you're even afraid, the room can read it. The people in the room can read it. And they'll be like, this person, I know they won't deliver because of how you appeared. So I'm like, we need to. focus on healing ourselves first and dealing with whatever is on the inside before we appear to the outside world. Even if it is just taking a back seat and every day deciding to improve, that's still fine. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to us. The way people treat us, you see, like the way this, I don't know, there's just like an example that one speaker gave, like pointing this way. People are looking at you, but they are still pointing at you to see. What did he say? People are looking up to you, but they are looking through you to see how they will treat you. So that's
Okay. Right. Okay. I like to say when you're pointing fingers, this is how you point. All these other fingers are pointing at you.
exactly that similar example. So
Yeah.